Yashodanandana Vrachachanaranchana Yashodanandana Vrachachanaranchana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Chanavalabha Girivaradari Gopi Chanavalabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Vrachachanaranchana Yashodanandana Vrachachanaranchana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Madhava, Radha Madhava, Radha Madhava, Shri Radhe. Jaya Radha Madhava, Radha Madhava, Radha Madhava, Shri Radhe. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Shri Radha Madhava Ashtasakis ki, Shri Prabhupada ki, Chainitai Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Narottam Das Thakur ki jai, Shri Thakur Mahashai ki jai, Gaura Bhaktarinda ki. Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Gauranita Jaya Gauranita. Gauranita Jaya Gauranita. Shanitai Gaura Premanande. You're reading in English or Deutsch?
Deutsch, ja.
Versteht jeder Deutsch?
Ja.
Oh, everyone speaks English?
I understand a little bit, so
Huh? Also, there's some people in kitchen. I think we're speaking English. Because there's 4 people in kitchen. Yeah. 2 or 3 of them speak English. No, I will do English. It's okay. Sorry, Michael. Oh, du sprichst doch Englisch. Also, Hariveni is on the altar, so everyone can understand. No? Huh? I offer my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shri Vasudev. Etwas trocken heute. Dry. 38 is Purva what? Written? Purvavat likyabe gunavatharagana. Purvavat likyabe gunavatharagana. Asankhya sankhya chandra nahaya ganana. Asankhya sankhya Chandra na haya ganana. Purvavat likyabe gunavatharagana. Asankhya sankhya chandra nahaya ganana. Please chant. Purvavat likyabe gunavatharagana. Asankhya sankhya chandra nahaya ganana. Purvavat likyabe gunavatharagana. Asankhya sankhya chandra nahaya ganana. Purvavat likyabe gunavatharagana. Asankhya-caritāmṛta hayagana. Matachis? Joke. No Matachis here. When you read the Sanskrit or Bengali, when you pronounce the A with the, how you say, with the thing up above, long, then it sounds rhythmically. Yeah, then it's easier. Okay, we read from the Caitanya-caritāmṛta, Madhya-līlā, chapter 20. The Lord instructs Sanatana Goswami. Text 348. Wow. Okay, I read the word for word translation, then we read a few verses, and then we have two purports I want to read, because one purport will be also mentioned Srila Narottam Das Thakur, whose appearance day is today. So I think it's nice to combine the purport and the glass with the glories of Srila Narottam Das Thakur, one of our great acharyas in our Gaudiya tradition. Very nice to prepare to speak about him, to read about Narottam Das Thakur is very amazing. Yeah. And I will mention a few points about his life. Okay, let's read the word for word translation. Purvavat, as previously. Likhi, I write. Yabe, when. Guna avatara gana, incarnations of the material modes of nature. Asankhya, innumerable. Sankhya, counting. Tanra, of them. Nahaya ganana, not actually countable. As stated before, when I described the incarnations of the material modes, guna avatars, one should consider that these incarnations are also unlimited and that no one can count them. How many verses we have here? The purport. Okay, 3 more verses. Chari yoga vatare eta ganana shunni bangi-caritāmṛta purcha sanatana. Thus I have given a description of the incarnations of the 4 different yugas. After hearing all this, Sanatana Goswami gave an indirect hint to the Lord. Raja Mantri Sanatana Bodhya Brihaspati Prabhura Kripate Puche Asanko Chamati. Sanatana Goswami had been a minister under Nawab Hussain Shah, and he was undoubtedly as intelligent as Brihaspati, the chief priest of the heavenly kingdom. Due to the Lord's unlimited mercy, Sanatana Goswami questioned him without hesitation. So Sanatana Goswami questioned whom? Mahaprabhu, yes. Atik Shudra Jiva Muni Nichani Chachara Kemane Chani Bakalite Kona Avatara. Sanatana Goswami said, I'm a very insignificant living entity. I'm low and poorly behaved. How can I understand who is the incarnation for this age of Kali? Purport. This verse is very important in reference to the incarnations of God. At present, there are especially many rascals prevalent in India who proclaim themselves incarnations of God or goddesses. Thus, they are fooling and bluffing foolish people. On behalf of the general populace, Sanatana Goswami presented himself as a foolish, low-born, poorly behaved person. Although he was a most exalted personality, inferior people cannot accept the real God, yet they are very eager to accept an imitation God who can simply bluff foolish people. All this is going on in this age of Kali. To guide these foolish people, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu answers the questions as follows. I just read recently the incarnation for this age of Kali, and at the end of the Kali Yuga will come Kalki Avatar. But Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes, in this Kali Yuga will be no Kalki Avatar. Never heard this before, but I found it interesting. He said, in this Kali Yuga there will be no Kalki Avatar, because the vibration of the holy name will still be so vibrant even after this 10,000 years. So it will be auspicious Kali Yuga where there's no need for Kalki to appear. Yeah. I don't know what to think about that. Could be. Prabhu kahe anya avatara shastra tava chichani kalite avatara taiche shastra vakyamani. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, as in other ages, an incarnation is accepted according to the directions of the Shastras. In this age of Kali, an incarnation of God should be accepted in that way. Purport. According to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this is the way an incarnation should be accepted. Srila Narottam Das Thakur says, Sadhu Shastra Guru Vakya Chidete Kariya Aikya. With two different verses. One should accept a thing as genuine by studying the words of saintly people. The spiritual master and Shastra. The actual center is Shastra. The revealed scripture. If a spiritual master does not speak according to revealed scripture, he is not to be accepted. Similarly, if a saintly person does not speak according to the Shastra, he is not a saintly person. Shastra is the center for all. Unfortunately, at the present moment, people do not refer to the Shastras. Therefore, they accept rascals as incarnations, and consequently, they have made incarnations into a very cheap thing. Intelligent people who follow Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's instructions and the instructions of the Acharya, the bona fide spiritual master, will not accept a pretender as an incarnation of God. In Kali Yuga, the only incarnation of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in Kali Yuga, the only incarnation is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Imitation incarnations take advantage of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The Lord appeared within the past 500 years, played as the son of a Brahmana from Nadia, and introduced the Sankirtan movement. Imitating Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and ignoring the Shastra, rascals present themselves as incarnations and introduce their rascaldom as a religious process. As we have repeatedly said, religion can be given only by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. From the discussions in Caitanya-caritāmṛta, we can understand that in different ages, the Supreme Lord introduces different systems and different religious duties. Shri Shri Prahlad Lakshmi Nrsimhadev Bhagavan Ki. Beautiful. Huh? Wow. In this age of Kali, the only incarnation of Krishna is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he introduced the religious duty of Kali Yuga, the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. What else more is to be said? Om Akyana Timirandasya, Kyananchana Shalakaya, Chakshu Unmilitam Yena, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha, Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam, Stapitam Yena Bhutale, Svayam Rupa Kadamayam, Dadati Sva Barantikam, Nama Om Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale, Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namane. Namaste Sarasvate Deve, Gauravani Pracharine, Nirvishesha, Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine, Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha, Kripa Sindhubhyaevacha, Patitanam Pavanibhyo, Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha, Jai Shri Krishna, Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadha, Shivasadi, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Prasthaya, Bhutale Srimate Kadamba Kalana Swami Nitinane. Prabhu kahe, Anya Avatara, Shastra Dvari Chani, Kalite Avatara Taiche, Shastra Vakye Mani. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, as in other ages, an incarnation is accepted according to the directions of the Shastras. In this age of Kali, an incarnation of God should be accepted in that way. Yeah. We can't find an incarnation of God on YouTube nowadays. You can try, and there will be many pretenders. Not to mention any names, but just recently I heard the lecture of someone, and then he's the great guru of this age. And then he spoke about Krishna-līlā and Arjuna and Mother Yashoda and very deep topics he touched. And then he said, but I'm self-realized. I never had to read Bhagavad Gita. I never read Bhagavad Gita. I never will read Bhagavad Gita. I don't need to read Bhagavad Gita. Krishna revealed everything in my heart. Wow. Maybe he's that advanced, but many fake gurus, many fake, all kinds of yoga people telling us how to live a better, more healthy life. And they help us in one sense on a material platform to be more conscious, be more healthy. But if someone goes deeper and says, also one person said, God is only a means to an end. So we're using the understanding of God to become self-realized, that we understand at one point that we are all one, that we are God. But that's very common in Kali Yuga. You find it everywhere. Before I joined in the temple, I realized I came 12 years ago, Nityananda Drodashi. That's nice. The blessings of Lord Nityananda. Also, Björn came 2 years ago. Yeah. Nice. So, in Kali Yuga, it's very difficult to see who is an incarnation, who is not. Sometimes devotees say, for example, Lord Jesus Christ, he is not mentioned in the Shastra. I mean, there's one, actually, Shastra where it's mentioned, but it's apparently not so bona fide. But Lord Jesus Christ is not mentioned. But then I think, but Lord Jesus Christ is anyways not God, you know. So he's maybe Shaktavesha avatar, empowered incarnation of God. But they are not always mentioned. Srila Prabhupada, was kind of mentioned as Senapati Bhakta, the general of the army of Lord Chaitanya. But many acharyas were actually not mentioned. Many great personalities are not mentioned because they are not avatars. They are not, in that sense, Krishna himself appearing in this world. But an incarnation, this word incarnation actually is not correct, because incarne comes from meet, to descend into a flesh, in a material body. But Krishna doesn't descend in a body. He comes he's an avatar. Yeah. He's someone who descends, completely spiritual. Nothing on his body is material. Sometimes people write me on my online chats or whatever, what do you mean subtle body? What do you mean spiritual body? You know, they never heard this before. You know, a subtle body. As I speak about the material gross body and the material subtle body. What do you mean material subtle body? I thought subtle body is subtle, can't be material. But that's not true. The mind is material. The intelligence, the false ego. Only the soul, the chitta, the consciousness Jiva is spiritual. And Krishna, one of his names, Bhagavad Gita in the end is written, is Advaita. Because my name is Advaita and people always ask me, what does it mean? And it's difficult to explain, non-dual, the Advaita philosophy, because we are not Advaita Vedantists. We are Advaitas actually. But then there's one definition is that Krishna's body, mind and soul are one. They're non-dual, non-different. So in Krishna, everything is, when he appears, completely spiritual. He can't be touched by the material modes of nature. Well, before we heard about the guna avatars. I think it was the topic the last few times. I can't say I didn't listen to the CC lectures recently. But also the guna avatars, they represent different qualities of the Lord. Yeah. The creation done by the mode of passion, represented by Lord Brahma. The destruction, represented by Lord Shiva. And the maintenance, mode of goodness, Lord Vishnu. Yeah. And everything Krishna does is spiritual. There's no tinge of material contamination. It's also said it's nirguna, without material qualities. Doesn't mean he has no qualities, but he has no material qualities. And when he touches this material realm, this world, he gets not contaminated, he gets not influenced from the material modes of nature. When we come in touch with this world, very easily we get corrupted, our mind gets polluted, our ego gets enhanced, and we identify with this material body, and we think we are the doers, instead of realizing that actually it's not us who act. It's everything is under the supervision of the super soul, and the super soul uses these modes of nature to control us, to direct us, and to fulfill our tiny little contaminated desires, to enjoy and live happily in this material world. So merciful is the Supreme Lord, because his desire is actually only that we come back to leave a place of suffering. Yesterday I made a video how to end suffering. I didn't speak about these topics. It was another topic. That's a decision. To suffer is a decision. Okay, you might say, what is about people who suffer in a third world country, have nothing to eat? It's a little bit harsh to explain. It's your decision to suffer. What do you say, these people? But if you don't understand the nature, the laws of material nature, what is karma, then it's difficult to speak about these topics. So first you have to introduce basic understanding of the Vedic scriptures to help people understand that they choose their misery. First by turning away from the Lord, identify with the material nature, enjoy without enjoying this material world without connecting it with the Lord. Like a devotee always thinks, like Prabhu says, this microphone someone created to sing nicely songs, to give some speeches for material civilization. But Prabhu said we use it to speak Krishna Katha, to sing the Lord's holy names. So this microphone becomes spiritualized. And the nature of this world, everything is Brahman, nothing is material. Everything is spiritual. Did you ever had this experience, ecstatic kirtans or on book distribution, and somehow the whole atmosphere changes? Everyone is blissful. All of a sudden you like everyone. Everyone is nice and beautiful, and the mind is so quiet, and you're so happy and blissful, because all of a sudden you can realize the spiritual atmosphere. When there's a big festival, hundreds of devotees are coming. Lord Nrsingadev is vibrating the whole temple room, even outside. I don't know how the people feel in Jandelsbrunn, but you really feel like something is happening here. And the spiritual atmosphere is always present. But if we come together in a Sankirtan Yajna, today you go to Passa to preach Krishna consciousness, some of you. If we do this effort together, then the spiritual world reveals, because this is the process of this age. Even alone, last year in Jamastami, I had the great fortune to spend on a beautiful beach in Croatia without devotees. My holiday was cancelled, and they made a mistake, and they booked me a week later. And was the only chance to go on holidays, so I could at least be here for Balaram Jayanti, but then for Jamastami we had to go. But Krishna's arrangement, because the week before was just rain the whole time, and I was a little bit mental because it was my first time without devotees. One time I was without devotees, in COVID, can't remember. No, in COVID was an underground meeting in Cape Town, South Africa. That was cool. The 50 devotees, everyone with mask in the beginning, and then after prasadam, everyone took the mask off, and we had kirtan whole night, and super ecstatic. And all of a sudden, there was no COVID anymore. That's funny. But this Janmashtami we spent in Croatia, and I thought like, okay, I will not cook anything, I will just fast, and then in the evening I ate some nuts or some fruits, keep it simple. And then 2 days before Janmashtami, in the flat next to us, 2 devotees came from Croatia, how random. And then they asked me, can we spend Janmashtami together? We can cook something small, and then, do you know how to cook? And I said, okay, yes, I know how to cook. And then my wife said, he's a good cook, he should cook. And then, okay, let's cook. And then it happened that we had a big feast, like really a big feast, and they had to eat at 10, so we broke the fast at 10 because they had a baby also to sleep. And one day respect, and we had together the feast at 10 instead of 12. Then everyone went to sleep, and I felt like, what should I do now? Like, should I stay awake till 12? I can't go to sleep now, it's 10:30, I just ate. Krishna appears just in 1 hour. And then I decided to stay awake and worship my deities to Aarti at 12. And it was so blissful, it was so ecstatic. The rounds I chanted till 12, it was so amazing. Okay, you could say I was not alone because devotees were here and deities. But if we engage in this process, especially together, the whole atmosphere changes. There's no material world anymore. It doesn't exist. Like Prabhupada says, impossible is the word in a fool's dictionary. So nothing is impossible, everything is possible. Björn, you did 100 books, no? Recently. You ever thought it's possible? No. It makes no sense to distribute 100 books on the street to people nobody likes anything to read, don't want to hear about God, don't want to be spiritual, want to enjoy their life, but still they take the books. Why? Because Krishna changes the atmosphere. And I think it was Sanatana Goswami who says, or Jiva Goswami, that the spiritual world is a state of consciousness. Vrindavan is not just far away somewhere. Vrindavan is in your heart. It's a state of your consciousness. And Krishna appears in many forms, in many yugas, to give us the Yuga Dharma. And there's many forms of Krishna. I think maybe the previous chapters was some incarnations, because it was said that the Lord spoke to Sanatana Goswami about different incarnations before. And we have in the third canto, we have in the first canto, third chapter, we have also incarnations of Krishna. And it's very important for us to hear about all his forms, all his incarnations, especially the ones, the Dasha avatars, why they came, what they did, which devotees were involved. All these stories are so precious. But there's only one supreme personality of Godhead. There's one original form, Swayam Bhagavan. There's many plenary portions and parcels of the Lord described in all the scriptures. There's ete chamsa kala pumsa Krishnas tu Bhagavan Swayam Indrari Vaikulam Lokam Mridayanti Yuge Yuge. This is actually the Paribhasa Sutra verse of the whole Bhagavatam. It's the most important verse every one of us at one point should know. That there's many portions, penalty portions, expansions of the Lord, but there's only one Swayam Bhagavan, the original personality of Godhead, and this is Krishna, not Lord Vishnu. We hear this many times on street also, we meet many Hindus. Vishnu is the highest, and Krishna, he came in the form of Krishna. And in one sense it's true, because it is said that Krishna appears through the potency of Kshiratokashai Vishnu. All the Vishnu forms appear through Kshiratokashai Vishnu. So Krishna used the medium of Kshiratokashai Vishnu also to appear. So in one sense you could say he comes from Vishnu. But he is the original, like you have a candle, and you light other candles. And they're all the same candles, you have the same light, the same texture and size. But one candle is the original candle. And this is Swayam Bhagavan. Yeah. And in the scriptures we have exactly written when Krishna will appear, in which form. And in the Kali Yuga, Krishna Avatar, Kali, Kalera, Nama Rupa Krishna Avatar. Forgot the whole verse. But it said in the Kali Yuga, Krishna appears in the form Nama Rupa, in the form of the holy name. So Krishna came right now. He's now here with us, Krishna, in the form of his holy name. This is the process for this age. This is the avatar for this age. The holy name of the Lord. And the holy name of the Lord, I mean, Mahaprabhu came, but Mahaprabhu actually not just came to give us the holy name, because the holy name in different yugas, Krishna appears to protect the devotees. Yada hidamasya glaniya bhavati bharata abhyutanam, what's the verse? Abhyutanam adamasya tadatmanam shichami. That whenever there's the religious, the dharma decreases, the religious standard goes down, and irreligion arises. In that time, Krishna appears. Paritranaya sadhunam, to protect the sadhus, the devotees. Vinashaya chaduskritam, and to destroy Vishaya, the dushkritas, the miscreants, the asuras, the demons. That's where Krishna appears. And dharma samstha panataya, to re-establish the dharma, the religion, the process for this age. Svabhavami yuge yuge. In each millennia, yuga after yuga, Krishna appears, Vishnu appears to re-establish the religious process. Chanma karma chamedivyam evam yoveti tatvataha tyaktva deham punachama naiti mam eti sochuna. So it's also these three verses all together in the 4th chapter, and we need to understand the nature, the transcendental appearance of the Lord and his actions, his pastimes. Then, after leaving this body, we will never take birth again in this material world. So it's so important to hear about the Lord. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to give the Yuga Dharma, any Vishnu incarnation could come. So in other Yugas we have other Vishnu incarnations who give us the Yuga Dharma. In Satya Yuga we had Kapila Dev, Dattatreya in Treta Yuga, in Dattatreya, he's reddish, the white complexion is Kapila Dev, reddish is Dattatreya. Then in Dvapara Yuga we had Krishna, and it's interesting because Krishna appeared at the end of the Dvapara Yuga to establish deity worship. But at the end of the Yuga he appeared. Interesting. And in this Yuga, it's a hidden avatar. It's Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the golden avatar. And he not only came to give us the chanting of the holy name, we just heard in the song Bodha Sukha Kobagai von Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Kodanitai, Kodanitai, in the lecture from Ramananda Gopal Prabhu, that Lord Nityananda came to open the storehouse of love of Godhead, to break the seal and distribute it everywhere. That everyone gets mad, full of ecstasy. So what is this ecstasy? Ecstasy is the Mahabhav or Prema. So Mahaprabhu came to give us Prema, love for the divine couple, Radha and Krishna. Not just chanting the holy names. The chanting of the holy names happens in any yuga. in any Kali Yuga. Here was a lecture from Tamal Krishna Goswami. In other yugas, Mahaprabhu is not golden, and he has a blackish complexion. But in this Kali Yuga, because he appeared in one day of Pranama, Mahaprabhu appears. After Krishna appears, Mahaprabhu appears in the midday of Pranama. And Mahaprabhu appears in the complexion, in the mood of Srimati Radharani. Yeah. She is the topmost devotee. So Radharani shows us how to worship the Lord. And she's golden. She has a golden complexion. So Mahaprabhu, that's why he appears as the yellow avatar, the golden avatar, Gauranga Mahaprabhu. Radharani is Gaurangi, Mahaprabhu is Gauranga. Because he took the mood of Radharani and then he manifested the complexion of Radharani. And the mood of Radharani is to give us love to Krishna. That was Radharani wants from us, to develop this love to Krishna. And we always say love to Krishna, but actually we should develop love for Radha and Krishna. In the process, what we do, Vaidhi Bhakti, and actually our process is not Vaidhi Bhakti, just read, Prabhupada says, the aim of Krishna consciousness is that we practice Raga Nuga Sadhana Bhakti. But Vaidhi Bhakti in the beginning, also when we preach the rules and regulations, even in a later stage, Raga Nuga Sadhana Bhakti has also the same principles from Vaidhi Bhakti. The difference is, Vaidhi Bhakti means the rules and regulations, the taste, the understanding, the conviction comes from scriptures, and Raga Nuga Sadhana Bhakti comes from Raga, from the taste comes from attachment to the Lord, to the devotees. And we might think it's such a high stage, we can't even talk about it, it's so far away. But that's not true. I just read CC, conversations between Ramananda Roy and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and it's really far out. Or the appearance of Lord Chaitanya comes soon. Madhya-līlā 4, I can recommend, a very nice chapter, where it's described the purpose of Mahaprabhu's appearance, and the external purpose, the side effect is actually the Sankirtan movement to preach Krishna consciousness. And he came. This is the external reason. But the internal reason is actually to give us Raj Prem, love for Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan. And this is described, and Prabhupada comments it on many occasions, the process of Raga Nuga Sadhana Bhakti. We're not Raga Nugas, Ragatmika Bhaktas, they have already taste. This is the inhabitants from Vrindavan, the Gopas, the Gopis. We want to follow them. But how? Where do we start? We're so far away. We're still struggling with our principles and chanting the holy name. Yeah. And it is said from Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in Ratmana, I forgot the book, but in one of his books he writes that when we practice Vaidhi Bhakti our whole life, we can never enter Vrindavan. And we only follow rules and regulations without attachment. We need attachment to the Lord. Otherwise we will go to Mathura or to Dwaraka or we go to Vaikuntha. And there's also something called, even if you get attachment to the Lord, but you're still too much focused on all these rules and regulations in a later stage of a devotional practice, don't get me wrong, not in the beginning, then you enter a different Vrindavan in an Aishwarya mood, in a mood of opulence. But to enter the real Vrindavan, where Krishna himself forgets that he is God, that everyone in Vrindavan forgets who Krishna is, that he's just their friend, their lover, their son. For this we need attachment. And it's very easy to develop this attachment. Prabhupada told us how to do it. He said, listen and read Krishna book every day in the evening and drink a cup of milk. And then he said, and then he would dream about Krishna. We need to hear about Krishna and his pastimes. My Guru Maharaj always says, we have rice, dal, chapati. This is our main nourishment when we eat prasadam. You need everyday rice, you need some sabji and dal. Then you're happy. This is what you need, your body needs. This is like Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Nectar of Devotion, Srila Prabhupada's books. Then you have some chutney, some sandesh on the side. Here and there you eat a little bit of sweet. This is books of acharyas or other books where we can understand the pastimes of the Lord. But we shouldn't eat only sandesh and sweet the whole day. We need some basis, some foundation. So we also have to eat the rice, dal and chapati on a regular basis every day. Because this gives us the shraddha, the faith. This gives us sambandha, the understanding, who we are, what is our relationship to the Lord, that we are the servants. But how to come to this taste then? And the taste comes when we hear about Krishna's pastimes, especially the pastimes in Vrindavan, where fights with the gopas or the relationships with the gopis. And we pray this every day, Mangalarati, Gurvastakam, or Tulsi Puja. Let me become a servant in Vrindavan and follow the damsels of Vrindavan, the gopis. It's our daily prayers we pray every day. So we should hear, because Raga Nuga Sadhana Bhakti would mean, actually, it's a sadhana. It's not that you perfect yet. It's a practice. To hear, it starts with Shradana Dasha, to hear about the pastimes of the Lord. And then you will get lobha, greed, the desire, or lobhya. You need this greed for Krishna. Otherwise, we can't enter. And this greed we only get when we hear. Especially from elevated devotees who realize these topics. I just listened from Indira Swami. He has lots of lectures about Vrindavan pastimes, about different items of Krishna and the associates of Krishna. And it's so amazing to hear about all of this. For us to come to this stage, we have two bodies. We have a sadhaka body and a siddha, a mental body. With the sadhaka body, we perform our rules and regulations, our duties, our devotional service. But at a later stage, we go with the mind into the pastimes. And this is only possible to Shravadam, Kirtanam. You hear again and again the same pastimes. And then Smaranam will happen. And this is real meditation. Not what I do, yoga and pranayama, it's boring. Kapila describes Ashtanga yoga, but then he says, no, we should meditate about the Lord. This is Smaranam. We can only meditate on the Lord when we hear the holy name, when we hear the katha, daily, every day, again and again, hear the Srimad Bhagavatam, listen to Krishna book, or so many wonderful books, Nectar of Devotion. Shivaram Swami has lots of really nice books about pastimes of the Lord. And we should hear this. It's not so much actually to hear about the Lord, more important to get this attachment to hear about the devotees of the Lord, how they are attached to Krishna, how they so much in love that they forget everything. They forget how to dress, they forget how to eat. They just think about Krishna and are worried about Krishna. And then we get taste. Well, I also want to have taste like this. I also want to serve like this. This is Raga Nuga Sadhana, means you follow the Raga Atmika, the pure devotee. You follow them through a sadhana, but first you have to hear about them. And what makes it a little bit more accessible to us, because Vrindavan and it's sometimes for us too far away. We're not there yet, So, but all of the inhabitants of Vrindavan appeared in the Caitanya-caritāmṛta. All the Goswamis, the old Mancharis, the servants of the Sakis who serve Radha and Krishna. And to hear about Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, today Narottam Das Thakur, who is Vilas Manchari, or also Chapaka Manchari, is not so clear. But we know most of them which Goswamis, which Manchari, what is his service in the spiritual world. And with their Sadhaka Deha, with their form, they perform also all kinds of services and in the outside. But inside, internal, they could enter Vrindavan in their Siddha Deha, in their mental form, enter the Manasa Seva. And for us to first start with, we need the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the mercy of Lord Nityananda, the mercy of our Acharyas and the Goswamis. So we can start by listening about them, listening their books. Srila Prabhupada never revealed to us who he is in the spiritual world. But by listening to him, he can give us Krishna. I mean, we sing Jaya Radha Madhava, for example. Such a deep song. Prabhupada introduced. All the songs we sing are so full of love to Radha and Krishna. But if we don't know the meaning, so that we have to hear, listen properly, understand, and then repeat. And at one point it will happen automatically. You will remember Krishna in his pastimes. It's not so difficult. We just need to do the work. We just need to read. We just need to hear. Again and again, more and more. When you do a service, I want to have some free time. I want to watch some movie or whatever. I want to go for a walk. I want to go swimming. No, when you have free time, I need some free time. I want to read. That would be the proper attitude. I want to do more kirtan. I want to do something for the devotees. You have to see where's our priorities. Today is my free day. I can space out so nice. I can sleep the whole day and eat the whole day. No consequences. I just need to finish my round and then it's done. I say, no, I have a free day. I can chant finally 64 rounds and I can hear about Krishna the whole day. And Krishna sees and immediately he gives you taste. And this is what we need. We need taste. Yeah. Without taste, you can get prema. You can go, with prema you can go to Vaikuntha, you can go to Mathura, to Dwaraka. You go back to the spiritual world with prema. But if we want to go to Vrindavan, Krishna, then we need special prema. And for this Mahaprabhu came to give us this special prema. He gave the holy names, the Sankirtan, Yagya, but he induced it with love of Godhead in the mood of Srimati Radharani. Isn't that far out? And this just happened recently, 500 years ago. Yeah. And Narottam Das Thakur to enter class with, he appeared 1520. It's how long ago? More than 500 years, 504 years old. Something like this. Yeah, well, 504 years. Narottam Das Thakur appeared. Made a few notes because I read yesterday hours and hours, and actually I can't put it in a class. Yeah, actually that's why people put it in a book. Or there's also lectures I remember from Indirumna Swami Maharaj. There's also lectures about Narottam Das Thakur. If you have time today, listen to it. I think it's 2 or 3 parts, 1 hour each class. It's amazing to hear about Narottam Das Thakur. When Narottam Das Thakur appeared, then the whole town was blissful. Everyone, because he was so effulgent, and when he appeared, everyone was induced with ecstasy. They had all tears in their eyes, and something happened in this village. Yeah, it was so blissful, and everyone, he said, was chanting the holy names of the Lord. It was very auspicious signs already when he came, that people were inclined to chant the Lord's holy names. And then after 6 months, when he was old, he got the grain giving ceremony, and Narottam Das Thakur, he didn't want to accept any grain. You know why? Because it was not, that's a good answer. No, it was not Ekadashi. People in this time, devotees, was devotee family, they followed Ekadashi, but it was not offered to the Lord. It was a small baby, like a pure devotee, he's also Manchari in the spiritual world. He couldn't accept anything not offered to the Lord. And then one Brahmana was there and he had some Mahaprasadam, and then he give this to the child. And then immediately accept the Mahaprasadam. And although his parents, they are devotees, but then from this day on, they always made sure that they have always prasadam for the child. And actually then the whole village, the whole village was raised, because then they started to, offer the food always and only prasadam. And also then on this name, grain giving ceremony, he also got his name. No, name was before. Name, then the grain. But then a Jyotya was made, like astrologer came and made the astrology for Narottam. And he gave him the Narottam, the name. Nara means human, and Uttama, the best of all humans. So he told he will have the best qualities, he will be the best of all humans. But you have to be careful. He shouldn't bathe in any river, because at one point he could bathe in the river and he could go mad. He will be very, prosperous and wealthy and well educated, and everyone will worship him and love him, and will be the best of everyone. But at one point it could happen that he gets crazy. So be careful that he never enters any river, bathes in the river. He didn't know the river, but he told him, be careful, So, his father was Kirtananda, or no, Krishnananda Datta, and the mother Narayani. And also the parents, they were so much in love with Narottam. He was so intelligent. He was so beautiful. When you looked at him, you just fell in love with him. And in this time, he was still had a blackish complexion, but very effulgent. And yeah, the father wanted only the best for him, because what I didn't mention is Narottam Das Thakur was a prince. He was a real prince. His father is a king. He was born in a family of royal family. And so his father wanted at one point also that he becomes the king, that he takes over the kingdom and his place. But Narottam Das, he in this time, he already heard about Krishna from a devotee named Krishna Das. I read an article, they say Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami, but as I understand it was not Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami. And he heard about Krishna, and already in young age he fell in love with Krishna. And he never wanted to take the kingdom, he wanted to be actually a devotee of the Lord. Yeah. On another occasion, before Narottam was born, Gauranga Mahaprabhu, all of a sudden he was chanting in ecstasy, Narottam, Narottam, Narottam. And then everyone is like, who is Narottam? Because in this time there was no Narottam with his associates. So Nityananda asked him, who is this Narottam? Who is he? And Mahaprabhu already waited for him to come, because Mahaprabhu's desire was that Narottam takes over the Sankirtan movement. That he waited for him, that he helps him to spread Krishna consciousness. So it's a very nice day today, Narottam Das Thakur's appearance day, to meditate about that. When you go out in Sankirtan, you can get all his blessings. And when Mahaprabhu chanted the names of Narottam, he also called for Padmavati, and he's the personification of the Padma river. And Mahaprabhu told Padmavati, he said, look, soon my pure devotee will appear, and he will take a bath in your river. And I give you this pot. She asked, what is in the pot? You know what was in the pot? Krishna Prema, liquid Krishna Prema. How cool. And then he said, I give you this pot of liquid Krishna Prema, and you take it, and when Narottam comes, you pour it over him. And then she said, but how do I know that it will be him? He said, you will know when you will come, all personalities in the river, everyone will be completely ecstatic. You can feel it, the ecstasy. And then you pour the pot, the liquid prema on him. And later, when Narottam Das was already born, he had a dream, and Gauranga Mahaprabhu appeared in this dream, and he told him to go to this river and bathe there, to the Padma river. So Narottam Das Thakur, he went there, and he went inside, and when he went inside, his bodily color also changed. Like Mahaprabhu, he became golden. Yeah? And he was like completely in ecstasy, he fainted, he was completely unconscious, he was filled with love of Godhead. Krishna Prema would be cool, huh? You go Yamuna or somewhere, and you enter, and you come out golden, Krishna Prema and trunk. And actually there's a tree, I remember Indira Swami tells the story. I mean, there was a tree there when Narottam Das Thakur entered, and this tree is still now there. Over 500 years, the same tree is there. So the tree witnessed everything, and when Maharaj went there, a branch from this tree fell, like, how is a branch? Like, not a twig, like a big branch, fell, and then Indira Swami asked if he can have it to the sadhu there in this place, maintain the place, and he asked for this tree, part of the tree, and then he said, yeah, okay, he made friends with them. He has lots of different items. Maharaj has like lots of very artifacts, like special items from Lord Nityananda, and like really amazing. Anyways, and then he got this tree, and he made a chapamala with this tree, and he chants on this chapamala. Really cool, yeah. And they found Narottam Das Thakur lying outside of the river, and next day they found him, from his family, the guards found him and brought him back to the parents, and then the mother, hey, where were you? Are you okay? You know what was happening? And he was just crying, Gauranga, Gauranga. And full of ecstasy and love of Godhead and completely absorbed in Mahaprabhu. And the parents, oh no, it happened. He went mad. Now the astrologer was right, he's crazy. And they were not happy with the situation because they wanted him to take over and he was just all about Krishna. So they imprisoned him actually. They didn't allow him to go out and tell the guards to take care of him because they were scared that he becomes devotee of the Lord and leaves the kingdom. And Narottam, then they wanted to get him married, to bound him to the family life. So they looked for a wife for him. And as Narottam heard this, he was like, okay, that's too much. I don't want to get married. I just leave. And his father went to go there. It was all in Bengal, happened in Bengal. So he went to visit Nadia, Navadvip, this area. So he took the opportunity to run away. So for 2 weeks he was like hiding and the guards were like after him and he tried to, he was like completely in ecstasy, like he couldn't eat, he couldn't sleep anymore. He was like completely in love of Krishna. He was so eager to meet finally, because in this time the Panchatattva already left and many associates of the Lord left, but Rupa and Sanatana were still alive. So he wanted to go to Vrindavan to meet them there. So he was on the way to Vrindavan. And then also he had again on the way he had a dream about Gauranga, and he saw how beautiful he is. He saw his lotus eyes, his garments, a garland and big size and beautiful effulgence. And he was completely like stunned when he saw Mahaprabhu, and he fell to his feet and touched his feet. Then Mahaprabhu put his feet on his head in the dream. So cool, you have all these nice dreams, no? So amazing. And Mahaprabhu, he told him, before he went to Vrindavan, Mahaprabhu told him, go to Vrindavan, give everything up, now is your time. Now go to Vrindavan and surrender to Lokanath Goswami, was his instruction. And on the way to Vrindavan, the guards from the father actually captured him and wanted to bring him back. And then he told them, you can't bring me back. Imagine you're like a woman and you're in love with someone, and you already promised to him to marry him, and now all of a sudden, like it's my religious duty, my dharma, I'm pious, I should get married to him, and now you come all of a sudden, want to take me away. It doesn't follow dharma, And the same, I'm in love with Krishna, I need to see Krishna. You can't, it's not fair, you can't do this to me, And he convinced the guards, and they were like, okay, it makes sense, okay, it's right, we can't do this, because you're in love, And he touched their hearts, and then they went back, and then the father asked, hey, where's Narottam? Yeah, he's in love, and we couldn't interfere. What? He's stupid. Can't do this. So Narottam escaped, and then again he had a dream, Mahaprabhu again. And he met in the dream, he met Panchatattva and Advaita Acharya and all the associates of Mahaprabhu. And they also told him, forget about everything, just go to Vrindavan. So his mission was clear, and then he was on the journey to Vrindavan. And on the way to Vrindavan, Mahaprabhu appeared in the form of a golden brahmana, because he had not much to eat, and he gave him milk. And Narottam Das Thakur in the spiritual world, he is a manchari, and he helps Caitanya-caritāmṛta Saki, one of the main servants of Srimati Radharani, to prepare milk preparations and to boil the milk. And this is his main service in the spiritual world. Like I mentioned, the Goswamis, like they have here their form, like we can access by following them. We hear about them, we follow Prabhupada's mission, we have prasadam, we have temple programs. But this is how we follow externally. But internally, Narottam Das Thakur is a manchari and prepares milk sweets for the Lord. And sometimes he prepared sweets in his mind, he did manasi seva, and he burned himself sometimes, and in his real body also he had the same burns and so deep. Yeah. When we Shila Puja, for example, also we worship the Shila, then first the real worship actually happens in the mind. And we imagine Krishna and we offer all the paraphernalia, we wash him, we feed him, we cook a big feast and we offer it to him. And I have to say I do it very quickly at home, but when I have time, it's a very deep meditation. So it's our process to meditate about the Lord. Not superficially, we know how the Lord looks like according to the scriptures or your deity form. And then you can cook some sweet rice. When they cook for Nishingadev Chaturdasi and nobody's allowed, only the brahmanas, you can also sit upstairs in your brahmachari ashram in 5 minutes and cook something for the Lord. It's no difference between really cooking and doing it in the mind. Just your intention, your love, your devotion. Okay, I'm coming to an end now because so much to say still. And what we see is Narottam in the spiritual world, he cooks for Krishna milk, he boils the milk, and then, we are the servants, but actually Krishna serves us. And then Mahaprabhu came to serve him the milk. Usually he boils the milk, but this time Gauranga Mahaprabhu personally came, fed him the milk. Yeah. Then when before he arrived in Vrindavan, he was almost there, finally to meet Rupa and Sanat. And then one Brahmana told him they just left the body. Also Raghunath Bhatta Goswami Kashishvara. And they just demised. And Narottam, he couldn't, it was too much for him. His heart broke, he fainted, his whole life was over. And we can see they have so much grief and devotion and when somebody dies, you can say, yeah, you're not the body, it's a devotee. And some devotees think like this, but when you read about the Goswamis, when someone of them left their bodies, then everyone is in grief, because a great personality left. And they know, of course, they go back to Krishna, but still, the emotions are so strong. Also for us, when our gurus go, and we should cry, it's this is the moment where we really can connect with Krishna, really connect with the gurus. It's very important for us to, go into these emotions, not to be cold. Narottam Das completely fainted, he couldn't, yeah. But then Rupa and Sanati appeared in his dream, and he told him to look for Lokanath Goswami, to take Diksha and find Jiva Goswami. And later there's another story with Lokanath Goswami, but he didn't accept the disciples, but Narottam Das Thakur, he cleaned his place where he went to toilet. And he was so eager, he said, okay, he's my guru, he didn't accept me, but I still serve him. And he wanted to clean everything, every time before he comes to pass stool and urine, that everything is clean. There's more to the story, but now the time is over. And at one point he accepted him as his disciple. And he instructed him to take shelter by Jiva Goswami as a Shiksha disciple and to get instruction, especially how to write books on Krishna conscious topics. Then also Radharani appeared in one dream. She was so pleased with his austerity and worship. And then she told him that in the spiritual world he serves under Champakalata and that he boils the milk, and then he realized that he is his spiritual form. And then he also started doing this Manasa Seva, where he prepared certain milk sweets to offer it to Radha and Krishna. Yeah, and his name was also Sri Thakur Mahashai, was one of his names, was known. And he introduced, he's from Keturi, and he introduced the first Gur Purnima festival. So the Gur Purnima festival we celebrate because of the mercy of Narottam Das Thakur. Chai. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki chai, Sri Thakur Mahashai ki chai, Sri Narottam Das Thakur ki chai. Any questions, comments, reflections?
I thought I just have a milk cup here.
Huh?
I don't know. I just thought I have a milk cup here.
Yeah. Shigari brought it to you because he's such a nice servant. Any questions? Okay, then I have more time to cook. Chai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki chai. Shri Prabhupada ki chai. Chanitai Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Gaura Bhaktavinda ki chai. There's a few books about Narottam Das Thakur, Sri Narottam Vilas, and online you can read, and there's some lectures. I can really recommend to hear about Narottam. Yeah. One more thing, Narottam and Srinivas and Shyamananda, they are the first Sankirtan traveling party. It's also a book somewhere in the library, Vaishnava Saints. You can read about the story and how this first Sankirtan was introduced. And